Welcome, yogis. Namaste. My name is Eric, and this is a yin yang fusion class opening up the lung meridians. And I'll speak to what that means in context as we move throughout the class. The first part of the class will be yin poses. You really won't need many props. If you have a block or two, you can grab those, but truthfully, all you'll need at the minimum is some kind of blanket or beach towel that you can roll up to have some density to it to support the back of the body. After the yin poses, we will move through, flow around for just a little bit of time, still opening up these particular meridians, and end with some more gentle poses, a guided meditation on the lung meridian, and then of course a really restful, lovely shavasana. Okay, so our first pose will be a supported back bend, and the way I'm using my blocks is this one right here is going to go right across my shoulder blades, perhaps where your bra line would be if you wear a bra. And then this one on medium height supports the head. If you're using the bolster, just roll it up really thick. You'll take your arms out wide like a T, and the bolster will go across the same part of the chest. So you'll still get the opening on the front of the body. The lung meridian line starts at the center of the chest and runs all the way down the inner arm. So this is the part of the body we're going to bring a lot of attention to, chest and inner arm. Okay, so come on down. And it's really important that your head feels supported. So adjust your blocks or your bolster as it may be so that your head doesn't feel like it's just dangling in free space, and that there's plenty of room in the upper part of your back where your neck is. And then palms face up. And it's our first pose. So depending on where you were in the day, what you were doing prior to this, the first pose is always pretty tricky to drop into. So give yourself really intentional breaths. Maybe make a choice that you'll count the first 10 breaths, deep breaths. In our yin practice, we want the body to, in some poses like this one, be pretty passive. So we don't need to go to any kind of extreme. only to the very beginning of sensation. Pausing there and breathing, and let that be enough. Take 3 more breaths. After your third and final out breath, any way that you'd like to exit the pose is fine. So you can step your feet in. My preference is just to roll over to one side and then remove the blocks or your bolster and return to your back. This might be where you park it, or you can step the feet in and windscreen wiper the knees a little bit side to side. Option to bring knees into your chest. And then our next pose is Bananasana. So lying on the back, extend the feet so they're long, and walk your feet over to the right. Stack your left ankle over the right. Keep your hips just as they are, but your shoulders will walk over to the right as well. So you're in this parabola, this C shape, this banana shape. Okay. To take the pose a little further, arms overhead, and then a side bend, still to your right, and you can grab hold of the left wrist or forearm with your right hand. If that's a lot on your shoulder, either shoulder, bring the arms out wide like a T. And that's the case for me, so I'm just going to park it here and drop into my breath. If you found that your left hip has lifted off the floor, find a way to ground it back down. That might mean coming out of the pose just a little bit. This is a really subtle pose, but a potent pose. Meaning you might not feel a whole lot going on, but just give it time, it'll show up. And even if you don't really feel it, the pose is still happening. You're still reaping the benefits. Let the back of the body relax and release. Stay with your breath. Three more breaths. Come back into center. Then stretch the arms overhead. Reach through your heels. That good morning full body stretch. Feel free to linger in that. You might even wiggle a little bit side to side. Or even hug your knees right into your chest. Give it a good squeeze. Pull the knees in and out. Move the knees in circles. And then we'll find the pose on the second side, legs long. Walk your feet over to the left. And cross your right ankle over the left. And then move your shoulders to the left. But keep your hips right where they were in the center of the mat. This really already is in the throes of the pose, but take it a little further. Arms reach to the left. And then settle in and breathe. If there's any kind of discomfort that registers as pain, just dial back. We don't want any sensations that are very local. When we are opening up this particular type of tissue, it should be a more broad, general feeling. If it's localized, back away from it. Relax in the back of the body, the sides of the body. 3 more breaths. Come back through center, full body stretch. Walk your shoulders and your heels back into the midline and just reach, get long, 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 long. Maybe you wiggle a little bit side to side. And then hug your knees into your chest. Okay, so we're still in the yin phase, but we are going to just roll right over to our bellies. Okay. And we'll take a pose called open wing. So you may need your block, you may need your blanket to prop up your head, but we'll see. We'll begin with the left side. So just take your left arm out to the left, so the left shoulder is flush against the earth. Right hand up by your waist as if you were in cobra. And we're going to bend the right knee and roll over onto our side. So if your head is kind of dangling, you've got something there for support. So I'm going to use it because I know I benefit from having a block. So bend your right knee and roll over onto your left side. And then there you are. So we don't want to have any kind of pinching or tingling in the fingertips. If you feel that, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but just back away from it. And be mindful that your left hand is directly to the left of the left shoulder, so it's not lower than the shoulder. Higher than the shoulder works too. And this can be a really confronting sensation because we can get pretty tight in the front of our shoulders from sitting a lot, using the keyboard a lot. So I use this opportunity to remind you to breathe through the discomfort. Take about 3 more breaths. Slowly return back to your belly and swim through the left shoulder. Just move it around any way that feels right or makes sense. Okay, we'll take the pause on the second side. So come back to your belly and reach your right arm out to the right. Bend your left knee and roll onto your side. Support your head if you need to. And then settle in with your breath. In traditional Chinese medicine, which is the foundation of yin yoga, the lung is considered the most sensitive organ, and it's very closely connected to immunity. If we're deficient in lung qi or energy, it can manifest as fatigue, as weakness, as cough, lack of desire to speak, shortness of breath, weak respiration. I find it's quite nice to nourish this part of ourselves, quite appropriate when the global pandemic we're facing is one that targets the lungs. So we want to keep these meridians flowing and free so we can have strong lungs. In the Taoist view, the lungs represent the congenital virtues of righteousness, dignity, generosity, and social responsibility. And if they're not flowing, we can get stuck in grief, sorrow, sadness, really emotional outbursts. Self-pity, guilt, despair. But if they're flowing, we can experiencing positive attributes such as integrity and high self-respect. Your last 3 breaths. Slowly come back to your belly, don't rush it. And swim through your right arm. Maybe open and close the hand a little bit. Okay, and then our final yin pose before we move into the dynamic yang is Anahatasana, or heart-melting pose. So for this one, you're on all fours. And then you just walk your hands forward and have your hips just behind your knees so you can hang back into them. And then bring your forehead down. So you're opening up through the chest. If you're super bendy, your chin can come down and look forward, but that's not most of us. So much of yin, and in particular yin poses that are having to do with emotions or the lung meridian, can have confronting moments, and rather than push those moments away or try and bypass them or distract ourselves, our practice is to stay with them and breathe through them. When we are suppressing our ability to share and communicate our emotions, when we're quieting ourselves, the emotions don't go away. They show up in other ways that are quite often unhealthy. Take 3 more breaths. And slowly just slide back to your heels for child's pose. Rock a little bit side to side. Groovy. Come all the way up to sit on your heels. And start to move the spine side to side. So open up the lateral body. And then you can open the chest, close the chest, this cat-cow rounding shape. Okay. And I'm going to pivot that way because that to me feels more like the front of the mat. From all fours, curl your toes under and send your hips high into your downward facing dog. Either pedal through your feet or stay just as you are, holding in stillness. Okay, and then lift your heels, tuck your tailbone around the spine and roll all the way forward into a super high plank, top of a push-up, and then glide yourself
back into downward facing dog. Exhale. 2 more times. Lift the heel, tailbone tucks, roll the body all the way forward into your high plank, and shift back, downward facing dog. 3rd and final time, roll the body all the way forward to your high plank. Pause. We're moving, and we're going to take 3 chaturangas. I'm going to lower my knees for them. You don't have to. Inhale, bend the arms, exhale. Re-straighten, and exhale, bend. Re-straighten, breath in, and last time, exhale, bend. Inhale, lift the knees, straighten the arms, and downward facing dog. Exhale. Walk all the way forward to the very front of your mat, and with feet hip width apart, grab opposite elbows. Head relaxes. Release your hands, tuck the tailbone, slowly roll up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 3 shoulder shrugs, shrug, shrug, good, and shrug. Take the arms overhead, grab hold of your right forearm and side bend to the left. Come through center, breathe in, and side bend to your right. Awesome. Reach all the way up, and exhale, fold forward. So variation of Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, long spine. Right foot steps all the way back and lower the knee, exhale. Inhale, lift the arms up towards the sky, and hands come down to the mat. Step your left foot back so the knees are side by side. You're in plank on the knees, breath in. Lower your chest and chin, exhale, and then press pubic bone down to lift into cobra. Exhale, draw yourself all the way back into downward facing dog. Float the right leg all the way up towards the sky and step to your lizard lunge. Right foot outside of your right hand. Light on your fingertips. Reach your right arm forward, breath in. Set it down, exhale. Reach your left arm forward, breath in. Set it down, exhale. Right arm forward, breath in. Stay there, or reach your left arm forward as well. Get long, long, long in your chest for 5, 4, press into the right heel, 3, 2, and 1, set your hands down. You're high on your fingertips. Walk your fingertips over to the left on a diagonal, but really important that your right thigh is rolling open. Pull your chest through the gateway of your arms. Draw your low ribs in. Take 1 more breath in and 1 more breath out. Walk your hands forward so they're under your shoulders. And then step your left foot forward, and fold. Take a moment to notice any differences between your right and your left foot. And make sure your feet are parallel. Okay. Flat back, pull the heart forward. Fold, exhale. Root to rise, reach the arms up towards the sky. And hands to heart center. Second side, inhale, lift. On exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Left foot steps all the way back. Lower the knee. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. And exhale, hands down. Take the right foot back so the knees are side by side. Breathe in. Lower chest and chin. Exhale. Inhale, lift into your Cobra Bhujangasana. And exhale, journey back into downward facing dog. Float your left leg all the way up. Full breath in. Exhale, step to lizard. Light on your fingertips, strong in the back leg. Reach your left arm forward, inhale. Set it down, exhale. Right arm forward, inhale. Set it down, exhale. Left arm forward, keep reaching. Option for your right arm to join the party. Get long in your chest for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the hands down. Your left leg will stay tracking out to the left as you walk your arms off to the right. Pull your chest forward through the arms. Couple of breaths. Good. Now take your hands back under your shoulders. Point your left toes forward. Step forward and fold. Inhale, long spine. Fold again. Circle the arms up towards the sky. And hands to heart center, exhale. Just one round of Surya Namaskar A, really classic. Lift up, full breath in, and fold forward, exhale. Long spine, plant your palms, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog for 3 long breaths. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Last breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, journey to the front of the mat. Long spine and fold. Root to rise, arms all the way up towards the sky, and hands to heart center. Toes together for your chair pose. Inhale, Utkatasana. Take the arms out wide, exhale. Inhale, lift the arms up by the ears. Take the arms out wide, exhale. Stretch the inner arms. One more time, inhale, arms out wide, exhale. Chair pose, breathe in, and hands trace the midline to fold. Long spine, pull your chest forward, step back into high plank pose, top of a push-up. Take a full inhale in your high plank, and then lower all the way down to your belly. Lift to your forearms for Sphinx pose and have your elbows just under your shoulder heads. Now you can do this next movement with your toes curled under. I think it's kind of fun to do them with the tops of your feet flat. So you'll inhale, lift through the crown of your head, and then press into your feet. Exhale, hollow out the front of the body. With the breath, breathe in, and exhale, press down. Last time, breath in. You know we're gonna hold it. Exhale. Keep hollowing out the front of the body, round your shoulders, and if you are on the tops of your feet, keep your ankles drawing in rather than bowing out. Last 2 breaths. Inhale 1, exhale, inhale 2, and Ujjayi, exhale. Lower your knees, lower your hips, lift your chest up for Sphinx, and then glide back into child's pose. Full breath in and a full breath out. Come all the way forward, tabletop, and then journey to your downward facing dog. Okay, from downward facing dog, we're going to do the left side first today. Lift your left leg up towards the sky. Step all the way through and rise to high crescent lunge. Really simple, no frills. Keep your hips squared forward and send the right arm forward, left arm back. So get as much rotation from around your chest as possible. All right, last inhale, spiral open into warrior 2. Exhale, get long and really low. So this is where we can do some manual work to open up the meridians. So your back hand will come forward and tap. Actually, it's going to tap down the arm, inner arm, and then up the outer arm. Down the inner arm and back up. And one more time. Good. And then open and switch sides. Tap. Come to the back. Tap. Up. And last time, tap and up. Open back into your warrior two. Straighten through the front leg. Bend the left elbow, grab it. And then a side bend. So you're getting long in your left side body all the way up the left arm. Tuck the tailbone and exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten, pull the ribs in. Exhale, lunge over your second toe. And last time, breath in and lunge. Open the arms out wide. Reverse warrior, full inhale, big expression. Exhale, hands come down to frame your left foot. Pull your chest forward, inhale. Plant your palms, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha. And exhale, Adho Mukha. Breath in and out. Second side, float your right leg all the way up towards the sky. And exhale, step through, rise to your high crescent lunge, lift. Okay, from high crescent, left arm forward, right arm back for your twist. Last inhale. And fan open, warrior two, Ujjayi, exhale. Left arm comes forward, tap down the inner arm, and up the outer arm. Down the inner arm, up the outer arm. One more time. Good. Reopen the arms. Right hand comes to the back, tap down the inner arm, up the outer arm, down the inner arm, up the outer arm. Last time. Waking up the energy, waking up the meridians. From warrior two, straighten your right leg, bend the right elbow, pull the ribs in, inhale, commit to your lunge, exhale. Inhale to straighten, exhale, lunge, and one more time, breath in and breath out, open the arms. A single time, reverse warrior, enjoy the full side body stretch. Exhale, hands come down, fingertip lunge. Bend the knees, sink the hips, Ujjayi, inhale, and exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower. Lift into upward facing, and glide back downward facing dog, exhale. From your downward facing dog, lift the heels, round the spine, roll all the way forward to high plank, and slowly lower down to your belly. One more time, come to Sphinx pose. Same core work, exactly the same. Inhale, lift through the crown of the head. Exhale, hover off the floor. Inhale, lower your knees, your hips, and lift the chest. Exhale, pull the navel in, low belly draws in, hips lift, knees lift, round. One more time. Inhale. And last time, exhale. Hold, hold, hold. Keep rounding, keep pushing down. Keep breathing for 10, 9, from the outer ankles in, 7, round the shoulders, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, lower. Sphinx, inhale. And child's pose with wide knees. Exhale. Okay. Lift up just enough so you can thread your left arm underneath and walk the right arm forward. So we're slowing things back down again. And then lift lift up just enough to switch the arms. Right arm threads underneath, forehead down. And then unthread. Come onto all fours. Cross your ankles behind you. So you can sit back and extend the feet forward. We're going to do bridge pose. Just one last little opener of the meridian lines at the front of the chest. Fingertips will find your heels. Tuck the tailbone and peel all the way up. Option to walk your shoulder blades towards one another. Lengthen the tailbone towards the space between your knees. Keep lifting your hips. Keep the throat open, 2 more breaths. And slowly lower all the way down. Just pause, widen your feet, let your knees touch. And then windscreen wiper your knees side to side. Hug your knees into your chest. We'll come up to a seat. So you can rock and roll or roll to one side and press up. From your nice tall seat, let's have your right shin in front in Sukhasana, easy seated pose. If this is a lot on your low back, just pop that block or that blanket under your hips to give you a little bit more height. Flex both feet and then press your feet down into the mat. And you don't want to move your hips. We're going to twist from the navel up. So inhale, reach up. And twist to your right. Keep your right hip moving forward, your left hip moving back, so the hips are actually just staying right where they were. And then turn your head forward and let the rest of the spine follow suit. Inhale, reach up. And second side. Keep your left hip moving forward. Try not to overly rely on your arms for the twist. Think of your obliques as really initiating and sustaining the twist. Good. And then let the head turn forward and the rest of the spine will follow suit. Breathe in and fold forward. Arms can reach forward or wide, whatever works for you. Cool. And then lift back up. Switch the cross of your legs. Inhale, lift the arms up high and take a side bend to your right. Now we're going to break up some of this stuckness, this tissue, on the left side of the waist. Okay, so just first reach over. Just kind of notice where you are. And then come on back up. And take your left thumb, or if you can even bring 2 fingers, just somewhere in between the ribs. So find a spot in between the ribs. Yeah. And just take some little side bends. A couple times. And then move to another spot, maybe a little higher or lower. I just found a good spot. And then a third spot somewhere between the ribs. So to get the tissue of between the ribs or the intercostal muscles. Okay, and then reach over. You might have a little bit more room. These are really important breathing muscles. They expand when we inhale and they cinch together when we exhale. So they aid the lungs and the diaphragm when pulling breath in and moving it out of our body. And then come all the way up. So most people don't know, take your side bend, that the breath is one of the body's primary movers of cellular waste. All right, we have sweat, we have opening and releasing our bowels, we have urinating, but the act of exhaling is releasing a lot of waste from the body. Lift up a good bit, take your thumb or 1 or 2 fingers to a spot in between your ribs, and just do that little bitty flossing movement. And move to another spot. And a final spot. And then your big final stretch. Reach over. Awesome. Come all the way up. Sit tall. Roll the pelvis forward as you fold. If the ability to sense the emotional landscape has become overwhelming for you, it's really helpful to nurture the strength and integrity of our chi, our vital energy. When our chi is strong, we can be calm, focused, resilient, and able to flow with life. And we want to be able to feel our emotions. We want to be able to feel deeply, to be empathetic, to be compassionate with the emotions of others. Start to lift up. We'll take the soles of the feet together. Don't be super hard on yourself in this pose. Let it be quite gentle. Fold forward again. Press heels gently together. And when our chi is weak and it lacks integrity, then emotions become exhausting and overwhelming. We can become withdrawn, paralyzed. So it's a really great reminder that the more we nurture ourselves
and give to ourselves, the more we can give to others. It's a lesson we hear in our head, but rarely do we believe it in our heart. I think there's a lot of stories out there about maybe we're not worthy of this compassion for self, or maybe we tell ourselves, why would I be compassionate and tend to myself when there are so many people out there who are suffering more than me, who have it worse than me? But that perspective approaches compassion and empathy and this inner resilience as finite. The reality is, when we tend to ourselves, love ourselves deeply, allow ourselves to feel, give ourselves space for these emotions, our compassion grows. We care more. And we have the urge to help, to act, to make a difference, to do something, to bring balance and love back into the world. So for ever feeling weak, out of integrity, every single breath you take can support you. We are so lucky that we can breathe. Each breath in, you can draw in yin energy, which is nourishing and nurturing for every cell of your body. And every exhale, you can release toxins, tensions, strong energy, aggressions, emotions that are not serving you. So together, one inhale, pulling in the yin energy and exhaling the yang. Roll yourself up. Take your hands behind you so you can windscreen wiper the knees a bit side to side. And extend the legs and just roll the toes in and out. And then left to right. Roll all the way down to your back body, and just one more time, knees to chest, or even happy baby. Sigh it out, take a breath in. And then lie down on your back. Get really comfy. And I'll take you through a Taoist meditation for the lungs. Let your heels be heavy, palms face up so you get that openness on the lung meridian, the inner arm. This is an inner smile meditation. Let the joy and happiness generated in the heart expand outward to your lungs. Feel the lungs open as the happy, smiling energy flows into them. If you are a visually oriented person, look into the lungs with your inner sight. Or if you are more feeling oriented, feel the lungs expand with positive energy. The lungs may appear to be pink and spongy, or they may feel abundantly full. If there's anything you see or feel in the lungs that is unpleasant to you, get rid of it. You can clear the lungs of energetic, emotional, and physical pollution by smiling into them as you mentally increase the amount of qi absorbed with each breath. Feel the airflow from the tip of the nose down into the lungs, following it all the way out to the tiny air tract where oxygen is exchanged for carbon dioxide. Thank your lungs for breathing and helping sustain life. Feel your entire chest cavity filling with smiling, loving energy. The lungs are associated with negative emotional energies of sadness and depression, and the virtuous energies of courage and righteousness. When you smile into the lungs, you will dissolve any sadness or negative feelings, creating space for courage and righteousness to expand. Continue to smile into your lungs a little while longer, and you may choose to keep smiling into your lungs or drift into a quieter, more internal state of Shavasana for the next moment or two. If an extended Shavasana feels right for you, please give yourself that extraordinary nurturing gift. If this is the end of your practice today, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your wrists and your ankles. Roll to the right side in a fetal pose. Thank your mind, your body, your breath, your lungs. And with eyes closed, minimal effort, use your left hand to press to a final seat. Draw your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing today. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.